When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Now, here's four-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that.
See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
Well, that was a bummer, wasn't it, Boise State fans? The Broncos fall 34-17. We're here in the press box at Reser Stadium. It's about 1:10 in the morning, but we got plenty of time. We got plenty to talk about. So get your comments in, get your questions in. We got post-game comments from Andy Avalos about the now quarterback controversy. We got DJ Schramm, Riley Smith. We got highlights. We got a lot of comments already waiting in the queue here, but get your comments in, get your thoughts in. What do you make of this one for Boise State? Obviously a very tough game tonight for Boise State, no other way around it. Stunning, really, to fall behind like they did, to have Hank Bachmeier get benched, when he did at that point in the game. Just not at all what any of us were expecting. So get your comments in, your thoughts on this one. Again, Boise State falls 34-17. Who do you want starting at quarterback next week? Talon Green or Hank Bachmeier? Let us know in the comments section. What'd you make of the coaching staff pulling Hank Bachmeier when they did early in the second quarter? We're going to ask Andy Avalos about that. We got some questions, his comments, and he was pretty direct about it, that things needed to be better. Some rough news came out of the game. Markel Reed looks like he suffered a pretty bad injury. Austin Bolt, I can confirm, does have a broken leg. So Austin Bolt might be out for the rest of the season, or is at least out for several weeks with a broken leg, lower left leg, I'm told, and it was a clean break. So just a really tough break for Austin Bolt on the first play of the second half there. Just a really, really tough on the kickoff, because he was really finally going to get a chance to have a role and play at wide receiver for Boise State. And so that was just such a tough break to see him go down like that, and to see, here he's going to be out several weeks after he worked for 8 months to try to get in the mix at wide receiver. That's a really tough break for Austin Bolt, who again has a broken leg. But get your comments in. Let us know what you think. We're going to have the comments here from Andy Avalos as soon as we get those added to the stream. We do have some highlights we can show as well. One of the fumbles, and Boise State was able to get the ball back there, and Hank Bachmeier trying to get things going after the fumble, has the completion there to George Helani, a really nice play, one of the few explosive plays when Hank Bachmeier was in the game. But next play, I believe it is, Bachmeier drops back to pass, overthrows Latrell Caples, and it's intercepted by Oregon State. Colin Mitchell with the highlights, by the way, here. Great camera work. Appreciate Colin Mitchell for putting those together. Oregon State takes advantage. The long play, keeps his foot in bounds. Touchdown for Oregon State there, and didn't get any better. Oregon State scores again. Oh, that was Tyreek Jones had a nice stop there on that play. But here's another. Oregon State has the ball. Oh, that was the J.L. Skinner interception. I'm sorry, I'm backwards here. But J.L. Skinner had the interception. Nice play by him. I didn't get the shot sheet here from Collins. I'm going on the fly there. But you see that Talon Green is now in the game. He finds George Helani. He gets down towards the goal line, and we got plenty to talk about with George Helani. So, again, you can that was the play. That was the play that really hurt him right there. The fumble by Ashton Genty. They're on the 2-yard line. They're about to score to make it 17-7. And then all of a sudden the fumble happens, and they come down and score and use the double pass, and they were pouring it on right here. I think this then they changed the call, right, because they said he was down right before he went across the end zone. So they made the field goal, as you see. That made it 27-3 at this point. Boise State just getting worked over 27-3. Talon Green comes in the game, and here it is, folks. Here's the future at quarterback for Boise State. Talon Green, 74 yards. He jukes two guys. He turns the corner, and Talon Green is gone into the end zone. Boise State, little bit of life, cuts it to 27-10 at that point. And you just see how special Talon Green can be with his legs and what he did right there. Just an incredible run, 74 yards. And, Boise State gets a stop, gets the ball back, and the ball is actually underthrown here, but a great play by Ashton Genty to come back to the ball, make the catch, and while he was being held, and they declined the pass interference there. And Talon Green does it again, takes on the contact, barrels his way into the end zone. This made it 27-17. And there was still 13 minutes left in the game at this point. So you're thinking Boise State potentially has a chance. But Oregon State, puts the game away right after this. Unfortunately, there was they did call the penalty. It was a questionable call on a pass interference, kept the drive alive. And then Oregon State scores here, another 41-yard touchdown by Coletto. And that basically was all she wrote. One final Talon Green heave down the field. It was picked off as well, and that kind of is all she wrote as Boise State falls to Oregon State 34-17. We got your comments rolling in. We're about to hear from Andy Avalos. Dayton Robinson saying red zone issue still a problem. 4 red zone trips, 7 points, 2 missed field goals and a fumble. Yeah, that's just brutal. Just brutal. Taylor saying that Green better be the starter next week. All the coaches are on the hot seat. That was not good. Jordan says really good postgame by Andy, 100% trust in him. Ray says Talon, just because it seems like he can make something out of nothing. Plow creates a whole lot of nothing. The Hank era is over. Let's be real. Nancy saying, what was I even watching? Yeah, that's what a lot of us were wondering at that point. But no, it was not good. It was horrendous, really, for a lot of parts of that game. Talon Green finishes with 19 of 28 completions, 155 yards. Did get sacked once and had an interception, but he added 11 carries for 102 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. He's the first first quarterback since Grant Hedrick in 2014 to rush for over 100 yards. Hank Bachmeier was only 4 of 8, had the 2 interceptions. And Andy Avalos, the head coach of Boise State, stepped to the podium after the game. As you can imagine, a lot of the questions early on were about Hank Bachmeier. We're going to bring you those comments. But first, we thank our sponsors, Lithia Ford of Boise. This is the Lithia Ford of Boise post-game show. Make sure you check out Lithia Ford of Boise if you're looking to buy a new car. And if you want to sell your used car, you can just they'll go in there and they'll give you a cash offer just to buy their used car. So thank you to Lithia Ford of Boise. Idaho Central Credit Union, the official bank of Bronco Nation News. We appreciate them as well. So if you use that app, it's very easy on your phone, and you can get more information, iccu.com. But we really appreciate Idaho Central Credit Union. And, of course, rowpaint.com, our title sponsor. If you're looking for that concrete coating, that garage coating, you name it, rowpaint.com can help you with the concrete coating on the floor. They can touch up the interior, exterior of your house, industrial, any painting needs. Make sure you check out rowpaint.com, and we appreciate their support of Bronco Nation News. Let's hear from the head coach of Boise State, Andy Avalos. A lot of questions about the quarterbacks and what happens next from here. And here you go, Andy Avalos after the game speaking with the media.
All right, go ahead. Yeah, fire away.
Andy, we know how much hard work you guys put in over the last month. The start, how disappointing was that?
Well, yeah, obviously, we go into a game like this, we can't turn the ball over like we did. This is football, and the number one deal is ball security and taking care of the football. And especially on a road against a team like this, we can't make those mistakes. And, obviously we made an adjustment there when we weren't improving. And, Talon got his opportunity to go in there, and we were able to adjust some things and get some drives going there. Obviously, he was able to do some things with his leg that gave the offense a little bit of a spark and was able to spread the defense out a little bit. But the bottom line is you can't turn the ball over like that, especially in those situations where, we're thrown into double coverage or overthrowing guys. So very difficult situation to start out there, but the guys they were persistent in trying to find a way and to get ourselves back in that game late there.
What was the thought process in going to Taylor as quickly as he did?
There were 3 turnovers early on in the game.
It can't be easy to bench a 4-year starting quarterback. I mean, how tough was the decision on your side, and what was Hank's reaction to it?
You know what? I mean, given the situation we were in with how many turnovers we had and the lack of offensive production being put, we had to make an adjustment. And to be able to put Taylor in there, for him to have his opportunity to run the offense and try to spark and get us going, it was a move we had to make.
What did you see positive out of Taylor tonight?
Well, I think one of the biggest things is his ability to extend plays with his legs. We were excited at the fact that he took what the defense gave him and stayed on most of his progressions and made the throws. And if the beautiful thing with Taylor is if it's not there, he can extend plays with his legs, and he obviously did that and made some really good plays, got some first downs, had obviously the long touchdown.
So what do you do at that position moving forward?
Yeah, so we'll see as we go back and we analyze the film and we see where we're at and see if we can continue to improve with Hank or find out what we need to do. But I know it's a short week, so we're going to jump back at it, and the competition starts tomorrow morning when the sun comes up.
Why do you think Hank struggled so much tonight?
You know what? He just never got himself in rhythm, and there were some simple reads. We threw in the double coverage on one of them on a shot play. I mean, we don't make that throw. We don't throw the ball just up like that. We overthrew in another situation, and we were holding the ball too long in the pocket. And when it's a 5-man protection and scout pro, we can't hold the ball that long in the pocket. Otherwise, bad things are going to happen. I actually thought the O-line did a pretty good job protecting today and holding up there, given some of the situations that we were in. So we could just never get ourselves in rhythm early on, and so the move with TG actually helped spread the defense out a little bit more and get some things going.
How do you kind of keep Hank, motivated and into it?
Yeah, I'll just say it. I mean, it's competition. There's guys got to respond. Hank's got to respond. Hank has to be better. That's the bottom line. He has to be better. And that's what we're here to help him do. But so does Taylor Green. So does Sam. So there's plenty of other guys that played tonight that need to be better. So that's what it's all about, is the growth over the season. It's the first game. Did we prepare to be our best and to win this game? Yes, we did. Did we do that tonight? We did not. But the biggest thing is that this is the first game of the season, and we're going to be able to use this as an experience to grow forward.
Andy, I'm not trying to be too literal and with interpreting the way things went at the press conference on Monday, but Tim was saying you guys were going to take George off the field unless you had to, and you got a little bit of momentum there on the JL turnover, and Ashton, who had some good moments tonight, had a costly mistake.
Right.
What went into that play? I mean, obviously you guys liked it, but without George on the field, would you like to see him on the field, I guess? I don't know.
I would love to see George on the field as much as possible, but, if KB felt like George needed a breather, then George needs a breather.
In general, though, George struggled to run the ball tonight. You guys did in general, other than a couple of Taylor's runs. So why were you able to get much going?
Yeah, they were getting a lot of penetration inside, in the interior of the offensive line, and so being able to get some things, and that's what I'm talking about, spread it out a little bit more and get on the perimeter a little bit, and that's obviously why we went that direction down there, in the low red zone, is because we weren't able to win inside very often. So again, at the end of the day, it's ball security and being able to hold on the ball, break tackles, make tackles, and we got to do a better job. We obviously, as coaches, we will make sure that we continue to emphasize these things.
Chance Nolan hit a couple deep balls. Obviously, Markel goes down in the first quarter, but what did you see out of the secondary tonight? It seemed like they started slow, got a little better.
Well, I will say this, we knew going into the game that was going to be the strength. That was going to be a serious challenge at the matchups that they create, putting multiple tight ends in the game. And if you go back and look at the film, there's 2-man routes, so everybody's protecting. So to get to the quarterback is extremely difficult, which we knew going into the game that was going to be the case. And we have to do a better job of playing with better eye control in the secondary and being able to handle our coverage a lot better than what we did today, because in some of those situations, again, when they're two-man routes and everybody's protecting, and the quarterback's 10 yards back there, it's going to be very difficult. That is one of the best things they do. Now, and one of the things that early on that I thought the defense did a really good job was being persistent given the situations, as a team that we were in.
They were kind of putting a lot of pressure.
Yeah, you're not taking on that many shots if we're not in that many situations. Early on in the game, thought they did a really good job against what will be a really good running offense this season. That will be an offense that rushes for a lot of yards, and the defense did a really good job handling the run game, and was able to create some takeaways as well early on. I mean, that's something that was we got to be better and eliminate some of those explosive pass plays, but I thought that we did a good job on defense creating takeaways.
Well, there he is, Andy Avalos. The full Andy Avalos interview is going up on our YouTube channel. Colin Mitchell is working on that as we speak. So he talked for another 5 minutes or so, and that'll be up on our YouTube channel if you want to hear Andy Avalos' full comments. If you're watching us on YouTube right now, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, help us out. And we're trying to build the YouTube following here. Let's get to some of your comments. We'll hear from DJ Schramm, Riley Smith as well. Coach Avalos must not have been watching the same game as I was. I must be watching different games. Kellen says. Mitch says Hank had 3 turnovers early in the game. Jen says 1 game does not define the team or coaches. King David, pass protection drastically improved, but the run blocking was not good. I also noticed the run calls were too long developing early on. Yeah, I mean, there was absolutely nothing going on in the run game. George Alani, we heard all week, all season really, that they were going to just give George Alani the ball as much as possible and not take him off the field much. How about 13 carries for 9 yards for George Alani? 13 carries for 9 yards. That's not going to get it done. George Alani averaged 0.7 yards per carry on 13 carries. Ashton Genty had 4 carries for 16 yards. So Ashton Genty even had better rushing numbers than George Alani. Taylon Green obviously helped the total yards because he had 102 on 11 carries. But your main 2 running backs had 17 carries for 25 yards. That's just not going to get it done. 25 yards rushing on 17 carries from your number 1 and number 2 running backs. So just not very good tonight. Actually horrible in the running game. And, Ben Dooley was out. So I will say that their starting right guard, Ben Dooley, was not out. So you had Mason Randolph come in and make his first career start. Obviously that had something to do with it. But I think that certainly, it just wasn't a very good day running the ball. Mitch says all the hype behind Helani allowed Oregon State to prepare for him. That could be the case, but I think there were other, in the end, it was 3 turnovers from Bachmeier that got him behind, not necessarily that at the beginning of the game. Dayton Robinson says, how about Genty being the leading receiver tonight? Now, one of those came on that big 36-yard play, which really was the difference. But, Genty had 6 catches for 49 yards. He was targeted 6 times, and he caught all 6 of his targets. Ray's has heard all season Helani's going to be on the field the entire time, gets taken off on a goal-to-go play, results in a fumble. Running backs were disastrous. Now, that was odd, and credit Jay Tust. You heard there asking Andy Avalos about that. Why would they, you say they're not going to take him off. Why'd you take him off? But he said, hey, if Keith thinks he needs a breather, he needs a breather, was the comment there. So it must have been a situation where George Helani was tired and needed a breather, according to Andy Avalos, in terms of why he was off the field there. Genty, did pretty well, but the fumble was killer because they were only down 17-0 at the time. That could have made it 17-7 if they score there. And then all of a sudden, not only do they not score, but Oregon State goes 98 yards in the drive and goes up 24-0 at that point. And for all, real, chance of having the game was gone at that point. They did cut it to 10, 27-17. They had some momentum. There was a 3rd down play, and Tyreek LaBeouf was called for a pass interference call, which did look a little questionable. And then after that, Oregon State took advantage and scored to go back up, and that pretty much ended the game at that point. Logan Dominguez, shout out. Thanks, Logan, for chiming in. If you told me a week ago Green would have the most yards on the ground, could have never guessed it. Yeah, I mean, who would have guessed it? Who would have ever in a million years talked to us having a, quarterback controversy at this point? I never would have crossed my mind that we're talking at this point about a quarterback controversy after the first game of the season. David Gardner, good seeing you tonight, David. Tough result, but do we have an update on Biggers? He wasn't on the field later in the game. Do not have an update on Biggers. Zeke Noah, it looked like, also was limping off the field. Didn't see that. Really curious, injury front, how they're going to be. I did mention Austin Bolt has a broken leg. If you're just joining us, Austin Bolt broke his leg, and he's going to be out maybe the whole season, or at least a good chunk of it, according to my sources. Andy Avalos just basically acknowledged it was a serious injury, but didn't say what it was. But I've been able to confirm that it is a broken leg, and just a tough blow for the Bolt family, because I saw Larry Bolt before the game, and he was so excited that his kid was finally going to get a chance, and then you see Austin get a chance, and he's the first one down there on the kickoff to start the second half, and boom, that happens to him. So that was just really tough to see him have to have the air cast and get carted off. You saw the whole team come over and acknowledge him, but just very tough, because I think Austin Bolt had really worked hard and was going to be a guy that was going to contribute at wide receiver this year. So that obviously was very tough to see. Joe Rogalski, good to see you this weekend, Joe. Win or lose, still bleed blue. Tough loss, but it's football. It's better than no football. That is true, Joe, but obviously a tough one tonight, and probably not a lot of fans that agree with you at this point. But really want to hear Avalos Plow justify the play calling. There's a lot that goes into it, but there was one drive where Boise State was like at the 5-yard line, and they're down 17-0, and it was George Helani run, 1-yard loss. George Helani run, 3-yard loss. George Helani run, 1-yard loss, punt. And that was pretty much kind of summed up how the game went. And then the next drive, when they got it back, I believe, was when Hank Bachmeier, the offensive line got pushed into him. And he fumbled the ball. I was just surprised. I know a lot of fans were calling for it on social media, but I'm not going to lie. I was pretty surprised that they pulled Hank Bachmeier as early as they did. And you heard Andy Avalos say, hey, it was – I said, why'd you go to him there? What was the thought process? He kind of said bluntly, we had 3 turnovers early in the game. And they also mentioned they weren't running the ball, and they were able to bring in Taylor, and you saw what he could do with his leg. And so obviously that was, it just was an absolute debacle all the way around tonight. See, get some more comments, and we're going to hear from Riley Smith here in a minute. Coulter Johnson, apart from Hank's issues, I feel like our biggest issue is the O-line not opening up the gaps for the run game. Wyman following up with that, the 350-pound nose destroyed KHG in the run game. There was just the offensive line did not get much push in the running game. They did not at all. It was just not great. Interesting your thoughts on this. From the sounds of this interview, I would not doubt if Hank starts next week. What do you think? I mean, if you don't start Hank next week, you pretty much can't start Hank the rest of the season, right? I mean, this is pretty much the last time to do it. And let's not forget we're playing New Mexico, who's not very good, and Boise State should blow them out. So whoever you play next week is going to have success. So either decide now, are you going with Taylor Green? Are you turning over the keys early to your quarterback of the future? And is this Taylor Green's team? Because next, I have no doubt if Taylor Green starts next week, he'll put up monster numbers, because New Mexico is not any good. So if that's the case, then Green's going to put up big numbers, and he'll be your guy. Or you say, you know what? This is a chance for Hank, and this team is still best if Hank's, at the helm long term, and you put Hank back in there to start, knowing that he's going to have good numbers against New Mexico, and then you get Hank some confidence, and you try to get him rolling again. Or do you think it's going to be a false confidence if maybe he's only doing good because of who they're playing? I'm just surprised, and we've got almost 100 of you still watching this at 1:34 in the morning back in Boise. Many of you watching it on tape delay the next day on Sunday. But I was just surprised. I thought at the time it was a little bit of a panic move. I still kind of think it was a little bit of a panic move. It was 2 interceptions, yes, that were not good. It was a fumble that was not good, yes. But quote unquote give up on a guy in the game that has been your starting quarterback 25 games, all 12 games last year, all off season, to see enough in one quarter to say we're going to Taylor Green for the rest of the game. I was just a little surprised. It may prove to be the right move if moving forward Taylor Green, leads this team on a big run. I was a little surprised that early in the game, this early in the season, that you didn't stand behind your 4-year starter, your senior quarterback. They obviously made the move thinking they had a chance to win this game still. That obviously didn't work out. But for me, I just was surprised. I mean, I give him credit for being bold and making the move, but what does that do to Hank Bachmeier's confidence? What kind of message are you sending to Hank Bachmeier that we said for all offseason, you're our guy, and then 16 minutes into the game, you're gone? I know a lot of fans don't like Hank Bachmeier. He's a polarizing figure. I know Green's kind of the backup quarterback's always the sexy, easy guy to want to root for. I get that. And so I'm sure fans, most of you guys probably love the move. Because I know Hank Bachmeier has a lot of detractors out there. I just thought, frankly, it was a little bit of a panic move to that quickly make the switch. And you can say what you want about Taylon Green doing better and putting up big numbers. And yes, that's great. But, you're pretty much deciding that you're all of what Hank Bachmeier did in the offseason, all of what he did last season, in the 25 starts he's made are pretty much gone because I'm pretty confident that, it's all going to come down to Friday. Whoever they start Friday, I think, is the guy that's going to go for a while. Because if it's Bachmeier, then I think you're going to see Bachmeier play well and get back on track a little bit. If it's Green, they've made the decision they go from Green. And then how does Hank handle that the rest of the season as well? So I'm just very interested to see kind of moving forward what happens at the quarterback position. So we got a lot of comments coming in. And again, I'm sure most of them here probably disagree with me, and that's fine. I just I thought that the move was a little early to give up on Hank Bachmeier the way you did because you weren't really just giving up on him in this game. I think you're really you're really sending a message that it's going to be tough the rest of the season to not go with Taylon Green, especially with what you saw. But they're going to have a competition, and they may go back to Bachmeier next week, like I said, knowing that he'll probably play well against New Mexico and do it. But man, some of the things you see with Taylon Green's legs and what he can do, it is intriguing to think about that moving forward. The 75-yard Green touchdown gave me flashbacks of Nevada Kaepernick. How will the rest of the season going to be? Will this be a repeat of last year? Will the team learn from this? You'd have to hope and think they learn about it. It's one game. It was not a Mountain West game. You can still win the Mountain West. You can still go to the LA Bowl and have a pretty good season this year. It was one game. But certainly a lot of the things we heard about in the offseason and in the press conferences and things didn't come to fruition tonight. So that's the puzzling part, I guess. Despite what happened, BSU turnout was pretty special. Appreciate all the fans that made the trip despite the end result. Yeah, totally agree there. A lot of Tim Plow hate. The crowd was pretty good, and the band was here. And it was nice to see. But unfortunately, the team wasn't able to come up with that on the field to equal the energy in the stands and in the band. Offense predictable. What is Tim Plow doing? Play calling had Robert Prince vibes. Run the ball up the middle on first down. Horrible. Derek Harris, enjoyed seeing you in town here, man. It was fun the other night seeing you at the brewery and hanging out. But appreciate your commenting here. Yeah, it was very odd. I'm going to go back and watch the game probably on the flight tomorrow and maybe at some point later tonight. I got to drive back to Portland at some point tonight. That'll be fun. It just didn't make a lot of sense. That one drive, like I said, 1 yard up the middle, 1 yard loss, 3 yard loss, 1 yard loss. For Hank, George Holani just couldn't get it going today, and they kept, the play calling wasn't great, but the 3 turnovers early in the game really is what did them in, because even after that, if you don't miss some of the field goals you do, especially the first one at half, all of a sudden it's a 7-point game early in the fourth quarter. So 5 turnovers just killed them. That was obviously the big part of the game. Estimated Broncos in attendance. I know they sold their 1,600 ticket allotment. You had some more there. I'd say probably 2,000 Broncos, maybe. You might know better than me, David, but yeah, great turnout with the band, cheerleaders, drill team. The women's soccer team apparently made it to the game as well. That's pretty cool. We got the dual threat quarterback as the future of BSU football. Montel Cozart, Henderson, now Green. They've all been able to put in work, get the job done. Joe says at least Mose was okay, and he's fishing tomorrow. So there you go. Yeah, make something positive out of the trip, Joe. You never know who shows up with Hank, the good, the bad, or just the ugly. David said, I like Hank to start with packages for Green. I think that may possibly be what happens. Casey says, give Taylon the job, build his confidence at New Mexico. He's the future. Thoughts on Plow's lack of creativity? Yeah, there wasn't much creativity. You saw the double pass that Oregon State did. It would have been nice to see some of that. We really saw no trick plays, not a lot of motions, and they probably had to change things up once Green came into the game, because I'm not sure what percentage of the playbook he was able to run. So I'm sure that had something to do with it. Jen says, I can't sleep. I agree regarding Hank. It was too soon. Low time says next week is Alabama playing Utah State. Let's see. Kurt. Yep. Kurt says they were totally unprepared. Mike says, when do you give up on him? 3 turnovers in a big game early. When would you do it? maybe for week 2, but I think you give him at least the game. I think I in terms of making a decision on your starting quarterback for the rest of the season, I think that he deserved a little more leeway and a little more time. Was it ugly? Yes. But if he's the guy that, is your senior starter, 4-year starter for a reason, I just think you have to give him a little more time. Maybe sit him for a series. I would have maybe done one series, let him clear his head, and then put him back in. Because the first series was a punt for Taylon Green. So it wasn't like he'd be benching Green right after he had that 74-yard touchdown run. The first series was a punt. I would have probably gone back to Bachmeier at that point after he had a chance to clear his head. And then if a couple series would have kept going bad, maybe in the second half you go to Green. But I just thought it was a little bit of an early, in my opinion, a little bit of an early hook at that point on your 4-year senior starting quarterback. But obviously Andy had his reasons, as you heard him say. And it didn't go good. Jake says, great job getting the broadcast on at 1 a.m. Boise time. Boise BNN is absolutely rocking it. Not sure if he's being sarcastic about the 1 a.m. start time, Jake. We got it on as quick as we could, but appreciate you. We said we got 12 games with Hank and went 7-5, so Hank is not the answer. Derek says that's what happened. Helped Grant Hedrick his freshman year. Kellen was the obvious starter. Grant was able to go in for some short things, and it helped him for the confidence boost. Kurt trying to take some credit that he called it on Taylon Green. He has been saying Taylon Green for a long time, so I'll give him that. Mitch says Hank came out scared. Mitch, again, Hank has not shown improvements throughout the years. Kellen says, I want to like Hank. I really do. Just never can seem to get beyond mediocre at his best and disaster at his worst. There's some truth to that. 3 turnovers, no offensive production in the first quarter isn't a panic move to me. Got to be better, and Hank can own that and respond. He did have 1 first down and 3 turnovers is what it was, I think, before he got pulled. So obviously not good. Dayton says, I think it's Hank, but wouldn't be surprised either way. Kurt says, gosh, I hope no Hank. Yes, it was a panic move, panicking from what happened. I do not know if it was good or bad. Hank was not playing as well as last year tonight. They gave up a hot Jalen Henderson in the Las Vegas Bowl. We blew it with Hank against UW. When will this coaching staff win? Well, it's not the same coaching staff. The coaching staff from the Las Vegas Bowl is now mostly coaching at Auburn. So there's nothing really to learn from the coaching staff because it wasn't the same coaching staff. Kurt says burn the tape. They still have the whole season ahead of them. Totally agree. The play calling was predictable earlier in the game. Dalmas also playing worse than last year. Yeah, that was a big one. Like I said, 2 missed field goals from Jonah Dalmas certainly hurt. There was just a lot that went wrong today in this game. Let's hear from Riley Smith, Boise State tight end, one of the senior leaders of this team. Here's Riley Smith in terms of what went wrong and kind of where they go from here.
How tough was that one to take, with just the turnovers and stuff, after all you guys put in the offseason?
It's brutal. It's obviously not the outcome we wanted. We're going to learn from our mistakes. A lot of it was on us, holding ourselves back, so we're just going to control what we can control and ultimately come back. I 100% believe in the scheme, the coaches, the players. We're going to come back and it's going to be a different game than it was tonight, and it's going to be successful, and I'm excited for it. We're going to learn and just come back and be better next week.
I know that you guys have a lot of belief in Hank, but before your starter to have that kind of start, I mean, it has to be hard not to not give you a little shock,
Yeah, I mean, we're not all perfect, but I still believe in him. He's my guy. I know how hard he prepares. I know how hard he trains and works behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see. And not every game's going to be perfect, and not every game's going to be the way that everybody wants it to. But Taylon came in, played good, but whoever's going, they're the guy. And I have 100% trust in both of those guys, and I'm excited to see what we do next week.
What did you see out of Taylon out there?
He stepped up. He played good. He was just going out and having fun. That's why I kept telling him, just have fun. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on the field. We've been playing this game our whole life. Just go out, have fun, and he was doing that. He stepped up. He did a great job, and we're going to keep it going.
How surprising was that when, the second quarter when they made the switch?
I mean, I don't know how much I really thought about it. I was like, whoever's back there, we're going to get the job done. We're going to do whatever it takes. We're going to star in our role, do our 111th, and just kind of handle our own business. Whoever's back there, we're going to make plays. So not really too focused on it, but just looking forward to seeing what's coming next week.
What was your angle on Taylor's 74-yard touchdown run, and how many times have you seen him do stuff like that? What was it like to see him do it, when the lights were on?
Oh yeah, he's another guy. He's a hard worker. I've seen him do it a bunch in practice. My angle was on the other side of the field, and I was like, I'm not even going to try to chase down a block because nobody's catching him. But no, he's insane athlete, and it was good to see it on the field. I know how hard he's been working.
What was the Army like when you guys did pull it within 10 there early in the fourth quarter?
I mean, we were just pushing. The whole game, we were not putting our heads down. We were not going to quit. We were just rallying. And it was tough in the beginning and too little too late. But as Broncos, we don't quit. We don't lay down. No matter what the score is, what the situation is, we're going to keep pushing. All the guys were rallying around each other. And like I said, not the outcome we wanted, but we're going to continue to work hard and try to put up points.
Regardless of even the quarterback, why do you think the offense struggled so much in the first half?
It's just stuff we can control. There are turnovers, some communication stuff that all of us can work on, and we're going to perfect it. That offense, I'm telling you, it's explosive. And I know it didn't show it tonight, but it's going to be great. And it's stuff that we can control. We're going to get back in the lab. We're going to look it over. We have a short week, and we're going to come out great. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a successful offense.
Maybe tonight or last year, it sounds like in terms of the vertical passing game, it doesn't always connect. And I'm kind of going off what you said right there, but I guess why?
I guess that's the answer for the coaches. I know all the players work hard. We work off the field with each other. We do everything we can do. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. But like I said, we're going to keep pushing. We're going to correct what we did wrong out there. And no matter what, as Broncos, we're going to do our best, and we're going to keep pushing. And it's going to be good. It's going to come together. It's just focusing on what we can control.
Right. I remember back the first time we talked to you at fall camp, you talked so much about player accountability.
Mm-hmm.
How does that play into responding to that?
Oh, yeah. It's offense to defense. As the leaders on this team, we have a lot of old guys, and we built those relationships this whole summer, this whole spring, and we're just pushing each other. Like I said, we were rallying around whoever was in. We're holding each other accountable. It's just going to continue to grow through the season, but a big thing is, player to player. And JL's in the locker room talking, I'm in the locker room talking, a lot of guys, we're taking it on ourselves to try to be great and push each other and just try to let it show on the field no matter what the situation is.
We obviously saw what he did with his legs. What kind of dynamic does Taylor add to the offense when he has that running game?
Yeah, he's fast. He's a great guy. He's a good passer. He's a lot of athleticism, and it's going to be fun to see what he can do, and just keep rolling with whoever's back there. I don't know what it's going to be like next week, but he's a good player and a great guy, so it was fun to see him kind of be successful tonight.
Obviously, you know how good a friend you and Hank are.
Mm-hmm.
He was it was incredible how positive he still was on the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
He grabbed the headset and he was doing his job. I mean, how impressed were you just as a friend of seeing
Yeah,
him?
no, Hank's a great guy, and he's one of the leaders on the team. And when something doesn't go his way like that, it's not the best situation for a QB, but we're all in. And like I said, the accountability piece, we're all just trying to do what we can to win games. And if that's him being on the headset in that situation, he's going to take it upon himself to be the best in that role and help coach Taylor and do whatever he can from that situation. And that's just the type of guy he is. So I'm proud of him for doing that. He stepped up, and even though he wasn't in the game, he was a good leader on the sideline.
To see that happen to Austin Bolt, how hard was that to see?
It's brutal. I didn't really see the whole play, but great kid, and he's been working so hard. I don't know what the situation is or what really happened or the outcome of it, but it's tough because he's a great kid, and he's been working really hard, so hopefully we can get him back quick, praying for him.
Well, there's tight end Riley Smith talking after the game. Boise State again falls in this one, 34-17. We got nowhere to go. So if you guys want to keep talking about this game, we got some DJ Schramm sound we can play. We can play some more Andy Avalos talking about Taylor Green. Here's Taylor Green and what he did. Came in early in the second quarter, and here's the run. You see what Taylor Green can do with his legs. He jukes two guys, and he is gone. 74 yards, one of the second fastest players on the team. Once he got by the guy, 1, 2, and boom. Took it, and that doesn't look like a quarterback running the ball right there, does it? I mean, that's just unbelievable what he was able to do. Second fastest player on the team, only to Austin Bolt, who unfortunately now is out with a broken leg. But you see what Taylor Green did there. You see the excitement. Got the team going a little bit. You thought there might be a chance. They started to get a little bit of energy. You saw what he could do. Here's another version of it.
Green creating. He's got a lot of green grass in front of him. Look at him go down the far sideline looking for a block.
Beth Mullins on the call for ESPN. Appreciate them for sending it. Nice throw here. He actually underthrew it. It was a little underthrown, but Ashton Jency did a tremendous job to go back and catch the ball while he was being interfered with. And then here you go, Taylon Green barreling his way across into the end zone for the touchdown. His second rushing touchdown of the game. Again, he finished with 102 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. First Boise State quarterback since Grant Hedrick in 2014 to have 100 yards rushing. But again, late in the game, trying to do a little too much, and gets picked off on the pass over the middle there, a little ill-advised throw. I was a little surprised, too, by the way, that Boise State went for the field goal. Boise State went for the field goal with like a minute left in the game, and then sure enough, it was missed anyway. So it was weird when you're down like inside the 10, you're losing. You might as well try to score touchdowns. I'm not sure why they went for the field goal there with about a minute left, but they did, and it obviously did not work out for him. We're broadcasting mobily here on the Cutwater Canned Cocktail Studios. You may have needed plenty of these after this one tonight as you're watching this game, whether it was the Long Island or the Bloody Mary. Make sure you check out a Cutwater Canned Cocktail. But, yeah, the way that game went, I'm sure there was plenty of these being consumed in Boise, Idaho and around last night. So next week, when they head to New Mexico or whenever, tomorrow out by the pool, wherever, make sure you check out Cutwater Canned Cocktails, and we appreciate their support of the Bronco Nation News postgame show, the Lithia Florida Boise postgame show. The comments are rolling in. Let's play some more of these. Let me go back up here a little bit. We don't want to make sure I don't miss any here. We appreciate everybody for getting in your comments after the game. They're rolling through here. I think we're setting a record for comments here. Dayton saying Oregon State scored 17 points off turnovers. That was the difference in the game. Yeah, 5 turnovers for Boise State led to 17. And, they lost by, I believe, 17. So that is correct, Dayton. You're definitely correct on that. I guess one positive was the turnovers from Boise State's defense. Jalen Skinner had a nice play. You had Caleb Biggers with the interception. Zeke Noah forcing the fumble, which they got as well. So there were some positives from the defense. They held a couple drives inside the 10 to field goals. Didn't have a lot to work with as well in terms of they were on the field an awful lot and in some bad spots, but also gave up just too many deep passing plays, really is what it came down to. We'll hear from DJ Schramm in a minute talking about the defense. Jen Walters, team loss, not just Hank's fault. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. A lot of things, but Hank certainly put him in a tough spot with some of the turnovers early in the game. Actually did see Mr. Bachmeier near the bus after the game. A couple of us in the media had a chance to shake Mr. Bachmeier's hand, his dad. And, he said he was, trying to stay upbeat, but obviously it was tough. But, a lot of season left to go. But Daniel, appreciate you watching, man. Bigger issue with the coaching staff. Members aren't ready for the stage. Jerome Johnson only making it 1 year, meaning less depth at defense. I don't know about the coaching staff. I mean, certainly you could point to some things there. Coaches are supposed to be bigger leaders. Is that a bigger issue? Casey asking about the punting situation. What were the final stats there? 5 punts for 187 yards. The average was 37.4. Yeah, not the number you probably want to see there. You like to see that average over 40 yards. But first game of James Ferguson Reynolds' career. Obviously, probably a little nervous. But, he didn't have a great day punting the ball, considering we had heard a lot about him. Shy saying when Hank wasn't voted captain, that speaks volumes. Welcome to the Jalen era. You mean the Taylon Green era, I guess? I'm not sure who Jalen would be. Anybody want to see Sam Vidlak? I saw that thrown around a little bit on social media as well. Later in the game, should Sam Vidlak have gotten in there? I'm not sure. Hank should have been done after last year. Didn't show any progression. He declined. Green is our guy. We'll say that this team looked better out of the half this year. Hopefully they keep that up. Second half, definitely. And it's one game. I mean, it sucks if you're a Boise State fan. It's one game. You can't go undefeated, but you can still win the Mountain West, and you can still have a 11, 12-win season. So, I mean, it's, you learn from this. Maybe you turn the keys to Taylon Green, and the team takes off from here. Who knows? But we'll see. Ryan Moser, can't believe I drove all the way to Corvallis for that. Yeah, a lot of people are probably thinking that as they're at their hotel or heading back home tomorrow. Certainly not what people paid money for tickets and the trip and all that for Labor Day weekend. That was obviously a very tough, very, very tough way to spend a Saturday night if you're a Boise State fan. Auburn won. Guess Harsin wasn't that bad. Not sure how that correlates to this. They played Akron, I believe. Avalos and Plow also have shown no upside. They both have to go. Wow, already calling for the head coach at 7-6. Tim Plow, I knew, here we go again. Kurt saying fire Plow. It was Mercer. I thought it was Akron today, but I guess it was Mercer for the win for Auburn. But any chance of Tim Plow getting fired midseason, replacing with Cutter, and he wants to tank for Peterson. I don't think Chris Peterson is coming back to coach Boise State, but it is, almost 2 a.m. back in Boise, and we still have over 50 people watching this. So maybe those Cutwater cocktails were flowing today during the game as Boise State lost this one. Carson saying special teams seem to be sloppy on the returns. Yeah, it went from bad to worse a couple of times because you had Steph Cobbs drop a kickoff at the goal line and then only got back to like the 8-yard line on that one. Ryan saying kind of like the team's effort toward the second half, but too little, too late. Plow has got to go. Speaking from a disappointed fan's point of view, of course, we all want the W. Every week's a new week on New Mexico. Totally agree. Really feel that we got a solid bill of goods all offseason. Try to be positive. Sad to see a special program fall apart before our eyes. Yeah, I think Oregon State might be pretty good too. Let's give Oregon State a little bit of credit. They did a lot of good things tonight. They were picked 5th in the Pac-12. Obviously played very well. I think the Fresno State game next week's going to be interesting. They go to Fresno. Oregon State does. So that's going to be a very interesting game to watch and kind of give you, if they go down there and whoop Fresno, I think all of a sudden maybe you think, okay, maybe this Oregon State team's actually pretty good. If Fresno hands it to them, then you say, okay, well, obviously maybe there's some bigger issues here. Jen saying so devastating about Austin. Yeah, obviously very tough for Austin Bolt. Ryan saying feel bad for Bolt. Injury happened right in front of us. Immediately didn't look good. Yeah, it's a clean break. Lower left leg, clean break, according to my sources. And he will not be back for several weeks, might be out for the season, unfortunately, for Austin Bolt. King David, Plow's system looks bad because it does not consider the player's skill set. Let's be honest and say that as an athletic mobile QB works better. Maybe so. Watch the interview with Schramm live. Seemed pretty frustrated. Is that just his personality or is that a sign of low team morale? He doesn't say very much. We interviewed him last week, and he was very short, doesn't say a whole lot. So, yeah, he was pretty down, but that's just kind of who DJ Schramm is, doesn't say a whole lot. Not good when your QB has more rushing yards than both running backs combined. And that wasn't even close, by the way. It was 25 rushing yards on 17 carries. So George Helani had 13 carries for 9 yards, and Ashton Genty had 4 carries for 8 yards. So that's 17 carries for 25 yards from your number 2 and number 1 running back. And then Taylon Green had 102 yards on 11 carries, which was good to see that, he had some other runs too, other than just a 74-yard run. And then in their receiving game, he had 6 catches for Genty for 49 yards, Steph Cobbs, 4 for 39, Riley Smith, 4 for 29, and Latrell Caples, 4 for 23 was what you had there. But then you had Skinner with 12 tackles, Schramm with 11, Noah with 7. Did see some fans and J.L. Skinner getting into it a little bit as he was exiting the field, heading to the locker room. Some Oregon State fan was using some language and letting them have it near the locker room. So, it was just obviously just a tough day all around. Mike saying, assuming they thought the field goal was guaranteed instead of the chance touchdown into the onside kick, only reason I can think of. And I guess, yeah, but you're down 17 at that point, so you still have to get like two more onside kicks after that. So, just score the touchdown if you can. I don't know why you don't do that. Ryan says zero confidence in the offense moving forward. Really want to have a glass half full mentality, but it's way beyond terrible. We're having Matt Miller to OC talk. He was at Montana State, and maybe that's something they'll, if we'll see. There's a lot of possibilities. People have mentioned Dirk Cutter. You've got Matt Miller, but right now it's, it's Tim Plow, and I think as you heard Riley Smith say, a lot of people have confidence in Tim Plow that they can still get this thing turned around. Ryan Moser would like to see Vidlac, thinks he has some potential, need to make some changes, though. Jordan says, never regret supporting our guys. It's Keaton. Enjoy meeting you and seeing you the other day again, man. Thanks for coming by the event we had at Sky High Brewing. You're spitting the truth, BJ. Pulled Bachmeier too early. Felt like an early surrender. Defense got beat a few times, but can't blame them. A lot on their plate tonight. Yeah, I mean, even if they would have won the game and come back and won the game with Taylor Green, I said it at the time. I just felt like it was still an odd move for me to go that early. I give him credit. I mean, it was you had to have some cojones, I guess, to make the move at that point. But I mean, I just there's bigger implications for the season when you make a move like that at that point in the game. So we'll have to see moving forward. But it just there's so much. Again, I think New Mexico is not very good, so whichever quarterback plays, I think that they're going to have success next week, and maybe not read into it too much. Whoever does well next week, but this is an interesting one. Brad says thoughts on Plow being on the sideline, not up in the box. Seems tough to read the defense from that angle. Well, last year it kind of turned around for the better when Plow moved down to the field. You might be on to something there. Maybe that's something that's worth asking at some point. But he also said he likes being down there to talk to the players, talk to the quarterbacks in between series. It's much easier to do that and talk to the guys on the sideline when you're on the field than when you're talking to them on a phone in the box. Carson saying, feels like Hank was trying to do too much. Green took what was given. Wish Hank would have taken the easier passes to find a rhythm. His only 2 completions were under routes. He was 4 for 8. Give him credit. He had 4 completions, Carson, not 2. Come on. But the point is accurate. It wasn't great. Isn't the Fresno-Oregon State game a one-off, not a home-and-home? Kind of weird to see a Power 5 team go to a group of 5. It's not a home-and-home. I must have had a hole in the schedule at the last minute or something. I don't know the exact reason for that. Kurt saying O-line, no improvement. The receivers, lack of separation seemed like a serious issue tonight. Drops were another issue. Definitely an area that he wasn't concerned about. I will take a little credit for this, at least. I went on with Mike Prater and John Mallory on my Friday segment. They said, what's an area that maybe is a concern or that's being over talked about? And I mentioned the receivers. I said they're a group that we're just all assuming that these 4 or 5 guys are going to step up and replace Khalil Shakir and Octavius Evans, and that's no easy thing. It's not a guarantee as good as some of these guys are. So where was Billy Bowens tonight? He was kind of a non-factor for all the talk we heard about Billy Bowens all off season. I think that it's a good group. We just didn't see a whole lot from them tonight. Dayton's saying, good thing New Mexico, UT Martin, UTEP aren't Oregon State. Hopefully they get some things figured out. They're going to be 3-1. They're going to win the next 3 games. They'll be 3-1, and they'll be undefeated in the Mountain West, 1-0, going into some big games against San Diego State and Fresno State. So they're going to right the ship. They're going to get it turned around. It just didn't happen tonight. Let's hear from one more player, DJ Schramm. If you have any final comments, thoughts on the game, get those in, and then we'll get to him after DJ Schramm talks here. But DJ Schramm, the Boise State linebacker, he finished with 11 tackles while making the start today. Here's DJ Schramm on the loss.
DJ, just to work 8 months for tonight and not have it go the way you guys wanted, what's the feelings of the locker room right now?
Yeah, it stings for sure, but we know we got 11, hopefully 12 more opportunities left, so that's what we're looking forward to right now.
You guys found yourselves down really early in this game. From the defensive side, how tough is that to deal with?
I mean, that's just how football goes sometimes, I mean, we're going out there to do our job every time. The offense is doing the same. I mean, we're all trying our best, and yeah.
From the defensive side of the ball, things weren't going good for the team, and they make the quarterback switch. What was your kind of reaction on the sideline?
I mean, whoever's in the game, I'm rooting for him. It's just how it goes.
What did you see at Taylor out there?
Taylor's a really good football player. He did a lot of good things tonight.
Some of the explosive plays they had in the passing game, what was kind of going on there?
I mean, they're a good team. We just obviously have to work harder. I mean, there's always plays that you're going to want back, but it's easy to talk about it now than get it done on the field,
There's a lot of talk coming into this season about, reworking the foundation and upholding the standard here at Boise State. And obviously that's tested in times like this. So how do you guys use that to respond?
And the foundation's there. I mean, we'll fall back on that, and we'll come back better next week and the week after that and the week after that. But right now we're just focused on next Friday.
Coach Avalos was just talking about their pass game and how you guys knew it was going to be tough. What was it about that pass game that made them so good?
They really test our eyes, lots of different motions pre-snap, and sometimes just get out of position, you know.
Just curious, what was the locker room like at halftime? I mean, that was a tough first half, obviously.
The vibe was really good at halftime. We know we're never out of it, and there was true belief that we were going to win that game at halftime, and until the clock said 0.
You guys got it to 27-17 there, early in the fourth quarter. Was there a pretty good vibe?
Yeah, great vibe. Things were going our way, so we would like to keep that going, but it's just football sometimes.
Well, there he is, DJ Schramm, talking after the Boise State loss. Again, Boise State falls 34-17 in the season opener to the Oregon State Beavers. It was a good atmosphere, good crowd. I mean, everything went great except the final score in the game. We got some more comments rolling in. We'll get to those. We got about 5 minutes left or so. Hey, big shout out to the Blue and Orange store. Appreciate them. We got a special going right now. You get a $25 gift card to the Blue and Orange store if you sign up for a 1-year subscription to Bronco Nation News. So how about that? Go on and sign up for a 1-year subscription, and the Blue and Orange store is going to hook you up with a $25 gift card. You can get free shipping on any order over $40 if you're ordering online at theblueandorangestore.com, or you can go in person there to the Boise Town Square Mall and Pro Image Blue Orange store right there on the second floor. Great spots to get all your gear. I saw they had the Skinner and Matlock and Bachmeier NIL, player shirts. They got the white jerseys, some other great Nike stuff, all the great newest hats. So get in there to the Blue and Orange store and get ready for that home opener against UT Martin. We'll see if they have the Talon Green NIL shirts in there at some point here pretty soon. But appreciate the Blue and Orange store for their support of Bronco Nation News. And we'll get to a couple more comments here. Obviously, a very, very tough one for Boise State, and 34-17, not what any of us expected to be talking about after the game. Certainly didn't expect to be talking about a quarterback controversy at this point, which is essentially what we have at this point. Team flying back today or tomorrow. They are flying back, and how about this? They had to go out of Eugene. So they're on a bus right now probably, or just getting back to the Eugene airport. There's no airport big enough in Corvallis, no runway big enough. The team had to spend the night in Eugene because that's where the hotels were and the runway was. So they are going back tonight, but it's not going to be for a little while. The bus, and how about that, man? The bus, the band, they're on the bus right now, just passed through Salem on the way back. Safe travels tonight and tomorrow on your flight. Well, you too, Logan. Safe travels to the band on the way back. That's a rough one, driving all night back tonight after that. I thought us going to Portland tonight was going to be rough, but all the way back to Boise, wow. Safe travels to you guys. And yes, the team is flying back, but from Eugene. And they got a short week. They got an early game now on Friday, so they don't have much time to put this one behind them. And Andy Avalos actually said that it's better potentially this way to not have to worry about this and just short week, turn around and worry about New Mexico. Start the Talon Green era. Terrible game. Really need to take a step back and look at multiple things. Jen Walters, win or lose, always bleed blue. Hank is a better coach than he is a player. I don't know about that. Kurt saying, what controversy? We should remember the last time we won a Fiesta Bowl, we got our butts handed to us by Ole Miss week 1. There you go, Casey. That's a great comment to look at there. Ole Miss beat them pretty bad. Boise State goes on to win a Fiesta Bowl, so you never know what could happen moving forward. So make sure to subscribe on YouTube. All of our videos, the full interviews are up right now, thanks to Colin Mitchell. And again, Colin did a tremendous job. He's finishing up his last semester at Arizona State, but we hired him part-time, and he made the trip from Arizona State for the weekend and was on the field getting highlights, helped have all the equipment set up for the live shows, and worked really hard behind the scenes. I don't have the mic set up to bring him on right now, or he would. He's sitting right here, but he did a tremendous job today. And Colin, truly do appreciate you, man, for all your hard work. And now I can say he's getting paid for it, so I'm happy to pay him. But yeah, thanks to Colin. But all the interviews, Avalos, Schramm, and Riley Smith, but the one most people want to watch is Avalos. That is up on YouTube, all like 13 minutes of Andy Avalos. You can go on YouTube right now and watch that. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. We really appreciate that. So make sure you do that. And that's one of the easiest ways to get our content on a regular basis, is just to go to the YouTube channel. But appreciate Matt Boucher, Boucher Real Estate, no home too big or too small. Check out BoucherRealEstate.com. if you're looking to buy or sell a home, and we appreciate Matt Bauscher and his support of Bronco Nation News. Ridley's Family Markets as well, shopridleys.com, 13 Idaho locations. They got them all across the Northwest. So next time you're heading to the grocery store, please head to Ridley's Family Markets and support one of our great sponsors here at Bronco Nation News. Boise Dentistry Co., full family dentistry. You can find it at location, boisedentistryco.com, multiple locations across the Treasure Valley. Appreciate Dr. Miner. United Commercial Insurance, business insurance, 44 states around the country. They can write business insurance policies. So if you're looking to get a cheaper rate on your business insurance, make sure you check out United Commercial Insurance. Timberstone Golf Course as well, playtimberstone.com. Book your tee time today at playtimberstone.com out there in Caldwell. And you might need a pizza tomorrow. If you don't feel like cooking after that game, go to Westside Pizza. BNN25 is the promo code. BNN25 is the promo code, and you get 25% off your entire order at Westside Pizza. We got a couple comments coming in. We're going to end this shortly. We do have a long night ahead of us. We'll have a notebook on the website. We'll have a full story on the quarterback controversy and what's going on there on the website. So make sure you check BroncoNationNews.com. And again, if you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe. We'll get you that blue and orange gift card. It's only $25 there, and then it's only $70. So we appreciate that. And we'll have exclusive story content, subscriber only, on the Hank Bachmeier, Talon Green situation going up on the website. At some point overnight as we write and drive back to the Portland airport after this one. Colin's got an early flight tomorrow. We're all heading back tomorrow. So, just a rough one, man. It's not fun. I'm not really a fan. I don't really care who wins, obviously, but I know you guys are more excited. You guys have more fun when Boise State wins. So for your sake and for, I guess, the sake of my company, it would certainly help when Boise State wins. And so I feel bad for you guys. Sorry about the game. Derek saying, so much to play for. Can't wait to support the guys in Boise. Do hope that if Hank is back as a starter, that Green isn't only brought in to run, will make it predictable, and would like to see him continue to progress with the arm. He's got an interesting throw. You know what? I'm going to make a bold prediction right now for those of you that are still watching at 2:12 in the morning back in Boise. We've been on the air for over an hour. I think Hank Bachmeier starts against New Mexico. I just do. I think they go back to Hank. I don't think they give up on him yet. I think Hank Bachmeier starts against New Mexico, and I'll probably be wrong. I thought Boise State was going to win this game in a blowout, and it was the other way around, so I'll probably be wrong. But I just have a weird feeling, and I'm going to go out on a limb now and say, that might change when we hear some stuff from Andy this week, but they're obviously not going to tell us. They're going to keep a quarterback controversy all week and make New Mexico have to think about both guys. But I got a weird feeling they're not done giving up on Hank Bachmeier yet. I think Hank Bachmeier starts against New Mexico and is going to play pretty well because, like I said, New Mexico's not very good. Here's the big story. KU looks pretty good. Lance Leipold might be on to something. That's the big story. KU football 1-0. Logan says they're staying the night in Portland also. So they're going to go back tomorrow. So that's good. Good to hear they're only going back to Portland. That'll be nice. And then appreciate the coverage. One of the best and classiest in the business. Well, I don't know if I've ever been called classy, but Logan, appreciate that. So again, thank you to all of our sponsors, Lithia, Ford, Boise, Idaho Central Credit Union, and rowpaint.com, our three kind of major sponsors of the post-game show here. Thank you to the folks at Oregon State here for helping us out, letting us set up our show and be on the air. Thanks to Cody Gogler for coming on that pregame show, Sarah Joram and Craig Lawson in the Boise State Sports Information Department for helping out with the photos and things like that. And most importantly, thanks to you guys for watching and commenting and wanting to be here at 2:15 in the morning back in Boise still talking about this game. I know it wasn't a fun one, but obviously a lot to talk about when it comes to Hank Bachmeier, Talon Green, and where they go from here. So thanks again, Colin Mitchell, for his help. Go to YouTube, watch the full interview with Andy Avalos and the players. Make sure you're a subscriber to our YouTube channel as well. And then, as I said, one final plug, we'd love to have you give us your business and subscribe for a one-year deal here so we can get you that gift card and that round of golf in the mail. I'll throw in a round of golf at Timberstone if you sign up as well. So I can see if Hank starts next week, it'll look great. And then when they play a good team again, it'll get ugly. Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. So Kurt, no Hank. Yep. I think we can just keep going all day with people ripping on Hank and wanting to see Talon, and who knows what direction they're going to go, but I got a weird feeling they go back to Hank in this one. So it was a fun time, great atmosphere, great stadium. I enjoyed the trip over here. We had fun in downtown. Corvallis is a really, really fun little town. But obviously the fun stopped pretty much once you looked at the scoreboard for Boise State as they fall in this one. Again, the final score, 34-17. Full coverage coming to BroncoNationNews.com. We'll have minimum of two, maybe three stories from this game up on the website tomorrow. We got all the YouTube videos and the shows and all that stuff. So appreciate everybody for checking it out. Safe travels to those of you that are here in town heading back. And we'll talk to you Monday morning at 9 a.m. We'll get Johnny Ballgame's take on this game. Cannot wait to hear what John Mallory thinks about the QB controversy and what they do from here. So John Mallory will join me 9 a.m. Monday on Bronco Nation News Live back from Boise. So safe travels, everybody that made it over. Hope everybody has a great rest of your evening, has a great Sunday or whenever you're watching this. But that'll wrap it up. The Lithia, Florida, Boise, Idaho Central Credit Union, RowPaint.com, BroncoNationNews.com postgame show as Boise State falls 34-17. Thanks again to Colin Mitchell. Thanks to all of you. Have a great rest of your night, great rest of your Sunday, and we'll talk to you later. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com.
At ICCU, to make a difference, it takes just one connection. A friendly face, an open ear, a helping hand. And then something amazing happens. We find out that we're better together. This is what Idaho Central does in our communities every day. We help our members with the small things and big dreams. This is what believing in you is all about. Idaho Central Credit Union, looking after your daily balance.